Hello, my name is Jessica. I'm here with Beta Virtual Assistants. It is Thursday, and I am committed to being here every week. One of the things I am thinking of doing, like short, condensed-ish videos on little tips with your wallet or tips with investing or something like that. So if you have any ideas for me or you have any questions, please send them my way. So today I thought I would just talk for a minute or two about permissions in your wallet. So when you have a crypto wallet and you want to do something, you have to tell the wallet that you want to do it. And oftentimes, in the past at least, you've had to tell the wallet you want to do it and then confirm that you want to do it and then actually do it. So when I was making purchases of crypto in my MetaMask wallet a year or two ago, I would say, okay, I want to buy Pepe coin. And it would say, do you want to interact with a contract for Pepe coin? And I would say yes, and that would be one transaction. But that doesn't mean I bought my Pepe coin yet. No. So then it would say, do you want to approve this amount of money that you're going to do for this or something like that? Or it would say, do you want to connect to the website that you're trying to trade on? And you'd say yes. That's transaction number 2. And then it would say, do you want to swap your ETH or your USDT for the amount of Pepe? And you say yes. If you have those 3 transactions go through, then you have actually purchased. And then you go to your wallet and you verify and you say, do I have Pepe coins that I did not have before? Do I have fewer Ethereum or USDT coins? If that is the case, then you know that you did it right. On the other hand, if you don't, you probably haven't followed through and done enough steps of the permissions. Now, yay! The MetaMask wallet is upgrading all the time. They're improving things all the time. And I hear that the multiple permissions are going out the window. And in fact, I was looking at it on Tuesday as I was demonstrating the buttons. And I was saying, this is how you do a trade. And it actually is starting to build it into the information that's already on the screen when you say, I want to trade Pepe for USDT. It's already going to say on that screen, if you approve of this transaction, you're going to approve of $50 of USDT being spent. So when you click confirm, that's going to confirm that, which reduces it makes it for a better user experience, because I can't tell you how many people would get confused in our trading groups and they'd be like, I thought I bought this coin and it's not in my wallet. And you're like, well, did you okay to connect to the website? Did you okay to use the coin, interact with the contract? And then did you okay the thing? And they'd always missed a step. So user experience for other wallets like the Solana wallets and some of the other wallets like Rabi and things like that already are more streamlined, and we want to make it easier for people to do crypto and not harder. And so that is one way that MetaMask is getting ready to do it. But if you have ever tried to make a purchase in your crypto wallet and it hasn't gone through, that is probably why. So number 1, make sure you go through all the steps. Make sure you actually confirm that you got your coins, or you're probably still missing a step and you need to just give one more permission or whatever. The second part of that, though, is when you're giving permission, you want to make sure you actually read the permissions, because there have been scammers out there who they get you to approve a transaction and they're hoping you don't read the fine print, because the fine print says that gives them access to everything. And you want to make sure whatever transactions you're approving in your wallet are only giving permission for, yes, I am connecting to the website, but not interacting with my coins. Or, yes, I am approving $100 of USDT for this trade, but not my unlimited, 20,000 or whatever sitting in there, just the $100. And that way you can kind of protect yourself against getting scammed, losing some of your funds that you didn't intend to lose, and all that sort of thing. So that is today's quick tip on trying to do a trade in your wallet. It can be complicated. Make sure you read what you're being shown. Usually it pops up and you say, I want to trade this, and you say confirm, and then it says, oh, okay, this is probably the amount of Pepe you're going to get if you trade this much USDT, and this is how much you're going to pay for gas fees. So if you are trading on the Ethereum network, at times the Ethereum network gets really congested. And what that means is every time you're doing a transaction in your wallet, you have to pay for it with a gas token. A gas token is the token that is native to that network that pays for the fees to do anything. So if you're on the Ethereum network, you're going to pay some Ethereum every time you want to send money somewhere, every time you want to trade, every time you want to bridge, anytime you want to do anything, you're going to pay a little bit of Ethereum. Whereas if you're on a different network, if you're on the Polygon network, you're going to pay a little bit of Polygon token. And so, first of all, you want to have some gas token in your wallet. They are getting smarter about that with the user experience. Also, they are starting to let you not have the gas token, and if you're doing a trade, they'll kind of take the fees out of the coins you're swapping. But that's still kind of coming in online also. So it's always best to have some gas token. And it used to be that you used to have, like, depending on the day, there were times in 2022 when I was trading on the Ethereum network, and I would go to place like a $50 trade, and the gas fee was like $200 or $100 or $150, and you're just like, or even worse if you were placing like a $10 trade, because the gas token fee isn't dependent on how much you're doing. It's not like, when you trade in an exchange and you're trading, $100 of this for $100 of that, the exchange takes a trading fee, which is usually like 0.002%, 0.003%, something like that. And you know how to expect that. But when you're doing things on the blockchain, it's not dependent on size. So I can do the same token, I can do the same transaction, and I could do $1 million worth, or I could do $5 worth, and I'm going to pay the same gas fee. So on days when the gas is congested, when it's like backed up and there's a lot of people trying to get things done, they charge you more. And that was the times when it was like $150, $200, whatever. And so I still have some coins in my Ethereum wallet that I didn't trade out of, because I started with $50 and they went to like $3. And it's like, am I going to pay $50 gas fees just to close a $3 trade so I can report it as a loss on my taxes? And I'm like, no. But lately, Ethereum has been a lot cheaper to do transactions on. And so I am thinking of closing. The other night I was pushing buttons as I was demonstrating, and I think the gas fee that it suggested in the process, so it said, if you do this trade, you'll get this many tokens, and the gas fee will be 23 cents. And I'm like, I can pay 23 cents to close out that trade and get that loss recorded for my taxes. Because I tell you what, when the market goes up and you start having winners, and then you have to pay taxes on those winners, you're going to be kind of happy if you've reported your losses, if you've recorded your losses, which don't count if you are still sitting there holding them. So actually, I've just remembered I was having a conversation earlier in Discord with someone who has been watching some Telegram pump groups. I guess they call themselves pump groups. Anyways, they get together and they say, we're going to pump this coin up and you can make money if you follow along. And apparently, and he's been watching these groups and he's like, I'm trying to figure out how they're scamming people. And I'm like, oh, they are definitely scamming people. And he's like, oh, I'm going to figure it out. So I guess he tried it today as an experiment. And yes, they are scamming people because they tell you to use 50% slippage. So what the heck is slippage? Slippage is when you go to place a trade, you say, I want it to happen at this price. And if you're smart, you will give a little bit of slippage, which means a little bit of wiggle room. It's a little bit of usually like 2 to 3% of your trade. You say, okay, I'll give 3% slippage. And what that means is that it may fill at the price they quoted, and it may be 3% more expensive, but it'll still fill. If you don't give enough slippage in some trades, the trade won't go through. And when you're watching a coin go straight up, rocketing up like a meme coin that just got invented and everybody's really excited about it, and they kind of pile in and it moves really fast, and if you don't have enough slippage, you can miss out on that trade, and then you watch it go up and you're mad because you didn't get in. So this group was telling him to set the slippage at 50%. Now, actually, I saw a story on I think last week, somebody set their slippage to 100% and they were they lost like millions of dollars in Ethereum or something. It was something ridiculous. It was like they way overpaid because they set the slippage, the rate to be 100%, and they had a big trade. And they must have had a big trade, so they paid like the entire thing. That is not the way to trade. So if you're doing trades, you definitely want to be aware of slippage if that's the thing where you're trading. And slippage, you want some wiggle room, but if you're being told to do 50%, guess what? The people who know what they're doing, they have all these bots set up to trade around you, so they see your order come in and the bots front run it. The bots place an order to make the price higher if you're trying to sell, or if you're trying to buy in, the bot will make the price go higher, so you pay more, and then the bot will immediately, I forget how it works. I can't explain it right this second, but in any case, the bots win. The bots always win. So if you are trading online, you have to be really aware of this. And this guy was aware, and he was trying to figure out how they were getting scammed. So number one, they were telling them to set 50% slippage. And of course, the bots are going to take advantage of that, and they're going to make you pay 50% more than you needed to. Number one. Number two, then they would send out a signal to get out, and they would close the contract. I guess they would turn the contract off or something. They controlled it so that you couldn't sell. This is called a honeypot. And a honeypot means you watch the chart and the chart is green and it keeps going up and up because people are buying it, and people get really excited because they're like, oh, this coin is going up and I'm going to make money, blah, 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 blah. They get really excited. And then it's a honeypot. That means the people who wrote the coin have set it up so that they're going to keep all the money and you can't sell. You are stuck holding this coin. You cannot sell it. So he said half of the coins that were doing this pump group in this Telegram group, half of them were honeypots, so you could not sell once you got in. And he had been trying to watch and make sure that it wasn't a honeypot, but he thinks that there's like a threshold level. So like the people who put in just a little bit of money help it go up, and they could actually get out of it because it wasn't very much money. So it makes it look like it's more legit too, because if you have a coin that is only sales, like those of us in the know, we know that if this coin only is going up, it's only getting purchased, there's a really good chance it's not a legit coin and somebody's going to steal all your funds. So he was watching for that, and he thought it was okay with that, but what he didn't realize is that when it came to bigger sales, they weren't allowed. So that's an interesting thing. So what's the lesson from this? The lesson from this is if you want to trade meme coins, you gotta know what you're doing. Maybe have an expert teach you a little bit, and definitely don't be setting 50% or higher amounts of slippage in your orders. And then the other thing you might want to remember is these Telegram pump groups are trying to scam you. And he's like, I guess I can now confirm that there's no reason to follow. Like, he was thinking he could outsmart them if he could see what they were doing and play their game somehow. And I was like, yeah, good luck with that. Okay, have fun. So he did. He tried to outsmart them. I think it did not end well. He definitely lost the little bit of money he was putting into it as an experiment, and he was fully okay with that. I mean, if you want to experiment with some group you've been added to and they're giving you instructions and everything, and you're like, well, that's good. Like, it looks like everybody's making money, but you can't comment in the group, and they're giving you instructions like 50% slippage and all this stuff. Yeah, be careful. If you want to throw your money out the window, you could come throw it into my window. I'll take it from you. That'd be great. But if you are playing in crypto, it can be really fun and exciting, and you need to watch out for what you're doing.
And that brings us to the end of today's video. I hope you found something valuable or interesting in what we discussed. And if you did, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more content like this. Let me know in the comments what you'd like to see next. And until then, stay curious.